Hey, hi guys, welcome back. All right, so I have spent the day, guys, doing some soundproofing installation, hoping to make things just a little bit more quiet. And that made a whole bunch of other stuff go all crazy and wonky. And so I'm attempting a live right now to see if you guys can see and hear me okay, because everything had to be moved and reset. So it's been quite the day, but I'm delighted to be here. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. And let's get into this. This is a collective message, so we don't know what the zodiac signs might be yet. We'll call them out as we get going. We actually start out with some strong Aries, and we have the Tower. Big upheaval in a character's life. Whatever this upheaval is, it could be a sudden, sorry, it just looks like a smashing disco ball more so than a wrecking ball to me right now. Hi, sunshine. But it could be somebody's ego is crashing down. It could be that they're having something massive shake up their world. Ooh, justice. And Three of Swords in the reverse. Hold on. So we have, sorry, by the way, I was also having to paint today. So excuse me that my hands are a little bit green all over the place. Whomever this character is who could be having a big, huge upheaval in their life, you notice that it is a karmic, like I'll say, deliverance of whatever needed to happen here. This is not an upheaval for no good reason. This is something that, our actions have consequences. So whatever somebody did has come back to bite them, more or less. And all I can say is that I don't think somebody else is crying over all this. This could be a Libra or an Aries going through this turmoil, but it says the turmoil was deserved. And forgive me for saying it that way. Hi, guys. So great to see everybody. All right, let's take a peek. The Chariot. Chariot energy is full on, like, I'm racing forward. I'm going to go ahead and move forward with success. I would say that fits together with whomever is not having a rough time right now. We have two different characters going on. We have one person who's not crying about anything, and they're actually maybe very, very much having healed from a situation. And I say that because they're still in a wheelchair. This could be somebody who's taken a long time, possibly a Cancerian, who's taken a long time to heal. Meanwhile, as one character feels so much better, it's the other person going through some pretty significant upheaval. Can I just go ahead and look at what is this? What is this that caused all the upheaval? Eight of Pentacles, Queen of Cups. Okay, so definitely something where they put energy into something for a period of time. They were working on something. I don't see how that would garner them any unkind outcome. And it says, because it was supposed to have been a situation that two people were working together, but then one of them ended up being a player. So I don't know if this character was not being very faithful, not being very truthful with a Queen of Cups, but the Queen of Cups definitely is the individual over here who, I think was putting her best foot forward, was, putting her energy into things. And I don't know if there's, this, they did her dirty, and that's why the universe is saying, yeah, well, don't worry, she's over you now. She's not crying over you. But by the way, you can now sit and stew. I think that makes sense because we have that Cancerian who's moving on without any heartbreak. So we'll say that we may have either a water sign feminine, or at least a feminine that was possibly extremely like heart-oriented, heart-centered. Please remember, I do read just energies, not for genders. And so we could have a same-sex couple. We could have reverse gender roles. It never matters to me. But right now we're going to keep saying she for the Queen of Cups. Tell me more about this person who I think was a cheat. We're just going to say it that way. They're certainly inconsistent with the Knight of Wands. Okay, they are the ones in the heartbreak. And this is how the Libra scales are getting balanced, right? It's like, well, she's not hurting over you. You're the one hurting over her. And, it kind of, you created the heartbreak yourself. So let me ask, does that mean that she's gone? Ooh, Seven of Swords. I actually feel like somebody else did this to them now. not only I think is the Queen of Cups over this and gone, but my impression is that they may have been heartbroken by somebody else who lied or cheated on them. It might be that they're getting a taste of their own medicine with that Seven of Swords, Ten of Swords sideways. So they're experiencing endings on all fronts right now. It's maybe hitting them that, oh my God, as I just got hurt by somebody, I realized I did that to somebody else. I realized that I was being whatever this is. Let me just take a closer look at that Knight of Wands. What do we have there for that Knight of Wands, really? Two of Pentacles, Wild card, Hanged Man in the reverse. Yeah, it looks like they were juggling, and then they maybe finally made a decision to go in a different direction, but not before eating up some of that Queen of Cups time. So if they were juggling between the Queen of Cups and somebody else, they may have been acting like, hey, whoever takes better care of me, whoever, gives me more of what I want. Gosh, it's so hard to pick. I've got so many people that want to give it to me right now. And I almost think that they were being very indulgent, juggling the Queen of Cups and somebody else, and then making the decision all of a sudden to leap into a certain direction. Well, let me tell you, they picked wrong. They picked wrong, because that's what we've got here when we see this this Justice card. Okay, so tell me about that. The Chariot again. We keep getting some repetitious cards, don't we? We got two of the Three of Swords. Now we have the Chariot coming out twice. I definitely am going to say that what they did to the Queen of Cups has now been done to them. Somebody else, whomever they jilted the Queen of Cups for, has now jilted them. And it's like, oh no, peace out. I met somebody else. I'm going some other direction. So basically, they're left with nobody right now. And let me just ask, why is this message even coming up? Why are we seeing this play out for them? Emperor upright, because it is that coming to Jesus moment where they need to consider, like, what does it mean to be an emperor? Well, probably acting like this is not an emperor, We have the Moon. Yeah, they're realizing they have a lot to learn about, growing up, about being maybe a better version of themselves, about hiding things, about what it feels like to have things hidden from you. They're really sitting and thinking heavily right now about that Queen of Cups and about their behavior toward the Queen of Cups. But it took them acting like a fool, then choosing somebody else that they were juggling with, and then being the person who gets juggled and getting treated the exact same way, for them to actually wake up and realize that I really, I should have been, I'm hearing the Mavericks. I should have been true. I should have been blue. I shouldn't wonder why you're gone. I should have known that I was wrong. It's such a great song. I love the Mavericks so much. It's that particularly, I think it was one of their breakout songs, one of their first tracks. Country music, late 90s. But yeah, still going strong. I mean, as far as solo artists too. We get the Lovers card sideways. If they thought that you can juggle people, it's always oh, I just get to pick randomly whoever I want. This is that harsh reality where they're like, oh, that's not how that works. I shouldn't have been doing that. I shouldn't have been messing with, different people. I shouldn't have been, assuming that I could have whatever I wanted. I shouldn't have looked at people as, of course, two different people want me and I get to go eeny, meeny, miny, mo. The truth of it is, I should have developed myself so that people would want to be with me. I really think this person never considered before that they weren't a catch. And I'm sorry I said so rude, but I don't think that they're much of a catch. Hi, Patricia. Babe, I didn't get a chance to say hi to you last night, and I saw you after I'd already turned off the video. So I want to make sure I said hi to you tonight. Sweetheart, thanks for being here. Yeah, we have 10 of Wands. This is definitely them learning that really big lesson, harsh lesson, the lesson that they should have learned a long time ago. But it came around slow for them. All right, so they've got it figured out now. They now understand what they did. They understand it sucks to have blown this connection. Does that mean that they're going to say anything or do anything, gravitate toward that Queen of Cups? I don't really know what they would do because the Queen of Cups seems to already be, like moving on. Seven of Cups, they don't know if that's even a good idea. Let me just ask only for the Queen of Cups. Queen of Cups, would you even want to hear from this person? I mean, it said that you were fine and you've moved on. Oh, God, no. She's like, no, 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 no. I'm moving toward a King of Swords and somebody spicy and nice and warm. The last thing I need to do is rehash, how somebody else broke my heart. No, everything here said with the Chariot, she's moved on. She's not brokenhearted. But if she got to hear from them again, it's going to stir all that up. So in this storyline, she's like, I don't need to hear anything. Are you sending out that vibe where it's like, don't you even? Yeah, 10 of Wands. She's like, I don't need to know. I don't care. If they figure themselves out, awesome, good for them. That's their journey, not mine. You know what? They can lay down any burdens in regards to me too, because honestly, I wouldn't ever want to deal with them again. Like I don't want to open up that wound again or anything. I've got somebody warm and wonderful, so they can just consider this a done deal. I don't care anymore. I think this is her energetically, like, yes, kind of letting them off the hook, but it's so she doesn't have to think about them anymore. Empress. Yeah, true Empress form says, I have an empire to run. I have some hot, King of Wands that I'd much rather connect to. So there really isn't anything else that I need from them. I can just move on and they can just move on and nobody needs to look back or think back about the past. She's all about progress. She's all about, success and what she's building. So I would say this is a fantastic message of no takesy backsies. Universe, do you have a final message on this? The Sun. She's moving on and just, I think, being happy. And I think that's the big message for her is only gravitate toward things that make you happy. You don't need to think about that ex anyway. What about for him? We've got the World in the reverse and we got the Fool card. He's starting all over again. And he's going to have to learn a whole bunch of stuff because he did not complete his journey. This is like he didn't pass and make the grade. So he has to do the whole lesson all over again. He's got to start from ground zero. He doesn't have anybody in a relationship with him. He's single. He's going to have to learn like how to treat people. He's at the beginning of a repetitious cycle. He is his own karmic, is the way I would say this. He is his own karmic. If he doesn't want to learn this lesson, if he doesn't want to start treating people better, he's going to keep finding himself in the same situation. He meets somebody stellar, then he juggles them with somebody else, and he goes with the other person, then he'll get cheated on and dumped, and then he's without anybody. And here we go again. And this could be a cycle for him. He, if he hasn't recognized yet why his relationships don't work out, in this case, the problem is him or her. Please remember, the only reason I'm saying him is because he's saying, maybe I'm not an emperor. And this whole storyline is like, exactly, you're not an emperor because of the what you've been up to. So course correct that. This is his chance to start doing things all over again differently, but he doesn't get a second chance with the Queen of Cups. Not in this story. In this story, he's got no business coming toward her again, is what it said. And it's kind of refreshing to see a storyline where characters are not perpetually cycling back to each other, to having to accept apologies and all that, but rather to just move on and have a better love. And he's done trying to develop himself through his interactions with the Queen of Cups. He already had a shot with her and he kind of blew it. So that's done. She's onward. All right, you guys, I'm going to leave this one here. Thanks so much for being here. This is Bobby Cassie. So good to see you. CDW 1975. Blah, sorry, my lips aren't working with me today. Thanks, Patricia, Rachel Flory, NH, Sadie Bird. Awesome. This is our last day of this one, and then we'll swap it out for tomorrow. You guys, thanks. Nora A, hi, babe. Sage and Stardust, wonderful to see you. Annette Summersby, Truly Naturally. Linda, hi, sweetie. Yoshafan, wonderful to see you. Light Leos, Silver Linings. You're so sweet, babe. Thank you. Hi, Jem. True Spoken, Celeste, Kimberly. Thank you guys again. And Sunshine, you were first in the house tonight. All right, you guys. Chrissy. Hi, babe. Hi, Mia Carter. Wonderful to see you guys. All right, we're going to get to some of the zodiacs now. I'm sorry, I know it's late. It's 7 o'clock where I'm at, but I had to get some of the soundproofing up today. And so I took today, well, mostly this weekend, to kind of revamp some stuff. And I have a few new things that we'll be playing around with, guys, that I also wanted to get organized and ready for the upcoming holiday season. So we've got some fun stuff coming up. All right. Lots of love. Thanks for giving it a thumbs up. Thanks so much for subscribing, you guys. So appreciate you. Bye for right now. See you guys again soon.